Hello and welcome. It's me, Percita, and this is Percitas Paradox. Thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate you today. I greatly appreciate your time in finding me on YouTube, and I welcome the new people to my channel. If you're an OG, thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate you, as always, for joining me and supporting me every single week. So today, I wanted to come and talk to you today about just the idea of really making sure that your motives are yours. And you may say, well, what do you mean, Percita? I mean, I'm really taking the time these days to really watch what I see and pay really noted attention on what it's perceived to be. And you may say, well, perception is everything, Percita, and everyone has their own perception. It's absolutely true. But I think what I'm trying to say is that I really want to make sure that me, myself personally, that I'm doing what I want to do because I want to do it. That I'm not doing it because of what people expect from me or from what I want people to validate or from any ideas other than I'm doing it for myself. And that's what I want to ask you today. The question is are you actually doing everything you're doing for yourself? Or is there some type of void that you're trying to fill in your life, be it from a sense of relational or financial or whatever it is? Are you trying to gain the proper things? And you may say, what's the proper things? Well, again, I'm going to identify proper as self. I'm going to identify proper as something that is nourishing your soul. I mean, when I really think about getting on channels, on YouTube or being in any social platform, I always notice that the people that I feel like are doing really well are doing it because they wholeheartedly want to do it. And I can tell a very big difference between the people who are doing it just for the idea of some sense of acclaim or validation against the ones that I feel that they really have this thing that they want to give, right? And that if they don't make a dime, that they really enjoy it. When I'm thinking of this channel, I'm really hoping that that's exactly what I'm exuding. So I ask you today, is that something that you feel? Is that something that you're doing? Or are you on the other end of the perspective? Hit me in the comments and tell me what you really think. I know a lot of us feel as if the social media platform is just based on this idea of really just trying to be a clout chaser or to get people to follow them. And that part is kind of comical because that would kind of have to be what somewhat of your idea is. You're trying to build your audience and create some sense of engagement between yourself and the other person. But in the exact same breath, I think what I'm trying to say and I'm trying to ask is, are you really in tune with what you really feel your purpose is in regards to your social media interactions, right? And I say social media because 9 times out of 10, the average person right now is spending somewhere between 3 to 7 hours on social media platforms across the board. Like, do not go to TikTok because you may be on TikTok for 6-7 hours and don't even know you're on it because time just elapses, right? And I say that because even the people that I know that aren't really on it to be on it, to do anything more than to watch everyone else on it, meaning they don't really have a presence nor are they seeking one, they still find themselves somewhat addicted to the social media thing. And no matter how much we try to act as if we're not influenced by what we see and what we read and what we perceive things to be based on social media interaction, it's a known fact that that is what we all are doing, including myself. So when I say what I'm saying, I'm really trying to hone in this year specifically on making sure that I'm not only engaging, but that I'm in a space of really being as true to what I feel like my purpose of giving is. I like to talk, right? And I realize that I do the talk thing very well, not always in the perspective of doing anything more, but almost in a lecture format, if that makes any sense. And I'm striving at this point to be more engaging in the idea of bringing the person or persons into an environment that they feel safe and that they can talk to me on. So I've been working on that softly, right, throughout the last year and a half, but I've never really figured out a way to make it work. But I realized that, when I go on Instagram, and I have a pretty decent following on Instagram, it's very easy for me to take pictures. It's very easy for me to write captions. But even in that, I recognize that it's not always a situation where people feel like they get to know me. And I don't know how much of my life I'd be willing to share, but I do understand that within my purpose, right, of now understanding what I want to be in the social media world, it's very important for me to find a way to share better. I'm asking you, is that something that you feel like you struggle with, or are you pretty happy with the way that you are in the social media realm? As I've always stated, people can be what they want to be in this light of, perfection of what social media brings. But I'm starting to understand, if I'm going to be on this platform, I really want to make sure that I am giving the purpose that I'm supposed to give, and that I'm sharing the way I'm supposed to share. And I'm also being aware of others and their perceptions, not to the degree where I lose myself, but to the degree that I understand that I want to always be in a sharing place. So hit me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me about some ideas that you may have on me being able to share better. Feel free to ask me questions on what I'm saying, and maybe some things you might want to know about me. But at the exact same time, think about it for yourself, because I'm starting to understand our representation on this thing of social media is important for no other reason than it is truly a digital marketing platform for the way people will read you. Hell, even jobs at this point are starting to look at people's social media. As a matter of fact, it's not starting. It's been going on for a while, but they've been looking at people's social media interactions, and people forget things like LinkedIn and, whatever other platform that would be quote unquote business related. They're also social media platforms. So be aware that I'm not just referring to Facebook and, TikTok and Instagram and things like that. LinkedIn, which is never really touched, is still a social media platform. So be conscious in that, and just give me some ideas and thoughts on what you may or may be feeling about it, because I'd love to hear it. But in the midst of all of that, I'm still a little stuffy. I have apparently a sinus situation going on now, because I didn't recognize that my cold was coming from allergies. So now here I am, a little stuffy, but know that I'm going to absolutely be in a space of, hopefully you can understand me today and I'm not too stuffy, but also that I'm going to be as authentic as I possibly can be in regards to just things that I feel like I need to share. And this is one of them. So here we are. In all things and in everything, make sure you're always doing 3 things. Live life authentic. Outside of living life authentic, start to think and ponder about really what your sharing mechanism can be in regards to what you exude to others and how you can help others. I just think that that's super important right about now. I don't know if everyone would agree. I'd love to hear your comments even about that. But I want to get to a place where we can feel like we can share in a space that is still judged, because let's just be honest, it will, but you're okay with whatever that judgment is. Never share anything beyond the platform of where you're uncomfortable. If you're not the type of person to share, your personal aspects, then don't. But be aware of what you bring to the table and how you're bringing it to the table, so that you can hopefully help someone else. I mean, we are definitely in this world to bless each other, but we're also supposed to be very self-aware of who we are, so that sometimes when we're blessing other people, we can literally do it by just the way that we live, not by words, not by anything more than just someone watching your actions and watching the way that you move in the world and being inspired and motivated. So as always, I'm going to say it again. Remember to do 3 things. Live life authentic. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.